Everything we thought we knew about Max Mayfield was wrong. The moment her heart stopped in Season 4, it didn't just break our group, it opened a hidden door the world wasn't meant to see. And in Season 5 Volume 1, that door finally swings wide, revealing a truth darker than the Upside Down itself. A truth that shows Max never really left the fight, and maybe never came back at all. When Season 5 Volume 1 opens, the world around Max keeps moving, but she remains completely still. Trapped in a hospital bed that feels colder than any Hawkins lab. Everyone remembers the moment she fell in Lucas's arms, bones broken, vision gone, and her life slipping away faster than anyone could save it. She was dead for a full minute, maybe longer. And even though 11 used everything inside her to bring Max back, the girl they saved didn't open her eyes. Doctors explain her condition with clipped sentences and forced confidence. Calling it a coma, calling it trauma, calling it a miracle. She even has a heartbeat. But nothing they say makes sense to the people who know Max, because what 11 saw inside Max's mind was not injury, it was emptiness, a blank space where a person should be. No memories, no thoughts, no sensations. It was like Max had been erased from her own body. And that is what scares everyone most. Lucas visits every day, reading her old letters, telling her stupid jokes, hoping she will squeeze his hand. Dustin tries to bring her favorite music, thinking maybe another song might pull her back like running up that hill once did. Even Elle sits by her side in complete silence, trying to feel a spark of Max's mind. But she finds nothing but a cold distance, like a locked door that refuses to open. The hospital machines beep steadily, but with every sound, there is a heavy fear, because if Max's body is alive and her mind is gone, then where did she go? And why does it feel like something else is watching through her instead? Everyone tries to pretend they're hopeful, but deep down, they know this isn't normal healing. This is the same pattern they've seen before. The same pattern the Upside Down leaves behind. And as Season 5 begins, the truth slowly crawls out from the shadows. Max isn't just hurt, she's missing. Her body is here, but her consciousness is somewhere else, lost, trapped, or taken. And whatever darkness reached into her mind that night in the Creel house might not be finished with her. In fact, it may be closer than anyone realizes. At first, everything around Max seems quiet, almost too quiet, like the calm before a storm nobody wants to see. The doctors keep saying her condition is stable. But stable is a strange word when the lights in her room flicker every time someone mentions her name. It begins swallowing tiny movements that could easily be ignored. One night, a nurse swears she saw Max's fingers twitch on their own, but when she checks again, the hand is still. Another time, Max's heart monitor spikes so sharply it sends alarms ringing through the hallway, only to drop back to normal the moment people enter the room. The staff calls it muscle memory and random activity, but the group knows better. They've seen strange signs before. They know the Upside Down leaves fingerprints on everything it touches. What scares them more is when these strange things start happening outside the hospital. Streetlights around Hawkins blink off for a few seconds every night at almost the same time. Electronics glitch for no clear reason. Animals wander toward the hospital as if something is calling them. It all starts pointing back to Max, and no one can explain it. Even 11 feels something wrong in the air, something familiar, something cold. She tries again to reach Max through her powers, sitting beside her bed with her eyes closed, trying to feel anything inside that empty darkness. But instead of finding Max, she senses a shadow, a tiny, silent presence that feels like a heartbeat with no body, a whisper with no voice. It flickers just for a second, like someone tapping from the inside of a locked door. Elle opens her eyes fast, heart racing, because she's felt this presence before. It's not Max, it's not even human. It carries the same heavy chill she felt in the Creel house. The same breath of darkness she felt the night Vecna broke Max's bones and tried to take her mind. She doesn't tell the others at first, not wanting to scare them. But the truth keeps pressing on her like a weight. Something from the Upside Down is still connected to Max. Meanwhile, Lucas refuses to believe that anything supernatural is happening. He wants to trust the doctors, to believe Max is healing. But even he can't ignore what happens when he reads to her one afternoon. As he talks, Max's eyes, though closed, move rapidly beneath her eyelids, like she's dreaming too fast, too deep. Her heart monitor jumps again, syncing with his voice. When he stops reading, everything stops. Silent, still empty. It's like Max reacts only to emotion, not to sound, as if she hears the world through memories instead of ears. And it becomes clear that she isn't simply asleep inside her mind, she is fighting. Her body may be trapped here, but somewhere else, somewhere hidden, her mind is trying to reach out. These early signs, strange and frightening, are the first hints that Max is not gone. And she is not alone. Something is waking up with her. Something that did not die in Season 4. Something that remembers her. Something that wants her back. Inside Max's mind, nothing looks like the world she once knew. It does not feel like a dream, and it does not feel like death either. It feels like being trapped inside a memory that refuses to stay still. When Season 5 Volume 1 takes us into her mindscape for the first time, the place looks like Hawkins, but not the real Hawkins. The streets are empty. The sky never changes. Everything is stuck between light and dark, as if time is broken. Max walks through the town, but every step echoes like she is moving inside a hollow shell. The arcade she loved is still there, but the games flicker with wrong colors and whisper strange sounds instead of music. Billy's grave appears and disappears like a glitch. Sometimes clean, sometimes cracked, sometimes covered in thick red vines that pulse like they are breathing. Max tries to call out, but her voice falls flat, swallowed up by the silence. Every path she takes bends back into another memory: her house, the school hallway, the snowball dance, but nothing feels solid. It is like her mind is trying to rebuild itself, piece by piece, but the pieces don't fit anymore. Worse, some memories are missing entirely. Faces appear without eyes. Rooms have no doors. Mirrors show her wearing clothes she doesn't remember. She begins to notice that every memory she steps into lasts only a short second before collapsing into static. Sometimes she sees flashes of herself from different moments, sitting in class, riding her skateboard, laughing with Lucas. But they vanish before she can reach them. Like shadows running away from the light. She realizes she isn't alone here. A feeling follows her everywhere, a heavy pressure, like something watching her, studying her, waiting for her to slip. She senses it, even when she cannot see it. The air grows colder whenever she stands still too long. The ground shifts when she tries to escape these looping memories. At moments, she feels a sharp pull inside her chest, like invisible hands dragging her backward, trying to anchor her to a moment she doesn't want to return to. And the worst part is that she knows exactly which moment it is. The Creel house. The place where everything ended. The place where she died. The place where Vecna touched her mind. When she tries to avoid that memory, the entire world around her bends and folds, forcing her back onto that path. Like the mindscape itself is controlled by something stronger than her. She doesn't see Vecna directly, not yet, but she sees signs of him everywhere: claw marks on walls, floating debris in the air, vines crawling across buildings like veins under skin. Every sound echoes his presence. The distant crack of bones, the deep hum of darkness, the faint echo of voices she heard right before everything went black. Max starts to understand that she isn't trapped by accident. She is trapped because something wants her here. Something wants her isolated from the world outside. Some force is shaping her memories, pulling out her guilt, her fears, and her pain, and using them to rebuild the nightmare she once escaped. And little by little, Max realizes the truth she's most afraid of. This version of Hawkins isn't her mind at all. It's his. The mindscape she's walking through is a cage built from her own memories, twisted and reshaped by the only monster who knows every part of her, Vecna, and he is waiting for the moment she breaks. It happens slowly at first, like a truth rising from deep water, and Max feels it before she understands it. The strange pressure in the air, the frozen memories, the shifting ground, none of it is random. All of it is controlled. And the moment she tries to run from the broken Creel house memory, the entire mindscape shakes like a giant exhaling. The sky cracks open, peeling back into darkness, and Max finally sees the shape that has been hiding in every shadow. He doesn't appear as the full monster she remembers. Instead, he flickers between two forms, the twisted creature of the Upside Down and the shape of Henry Creel, the boy he once was. His face changes like a broken video, switching from calm to monstrous in a split second. It's as if her mind can't decide which version of him to fear more. Then she hears his voice, slow, deep, and far too close. He tells her she was never supposed to survive. He tells her that when she died, her mind didn't simply vanish. It cracked open, leaving a space he could slip into, a space he could hide in, a space he could grow inside. Max tries to fight back, telling him she's not afraid, but the truth hits her with the weight of a falling building. When Vecna attacked her in Season 4, he didn't just break her body, he split her consciousness. Part of her stayed alive, but another part, her fear, her guilt, her darkest memories, became a doorway he could enter. And that doorway is still open. As he talks, the world around them changes again. The fake Hawkins melts like wax, revealing a dark red void full of floating debris, pulsing vines, and cracked memories drifting like broken glass. Max sees pieces of her life spinning around her, skating with Lucas, arguing with her mom, laughing in the arcade, crying at Billy's grave. Only now she sees something she didn't notice before. Every memory, even the happy ones, is tangled with thin black vines, as if Vecna was feeding off her from the inside. He explains that she was his perfect target because her grief was already tearing her apart. Her loneliness, her nightmares, her guilt about Billy, those were cracks he widened until her mind shattered just enough for him to stay after the attack. Max refuses to accept this, telling him she won't let him control her. But Vecna doesn't need to control her, not fully. He tells her that he doesn't want her body. He wants her connection, because Max is the one thing that links the living world to the upside down without needing a gate. She is the living bridge, the broken vessel, the open wound, and as long as her body breathes, he has a silent passage into Hawkins. She realizes then why the lights flicker, why electronics glitch, and why the doctors can't explain her sudden spikes in brain activity. Every time Vecna stirs inside her mind, the effects bleed into the real world. Max tries to pull away from him, but the void tightens around her like a fist. Vines wrap around her arms and legs, dragging her toward a floating red mass that beats like a heart. She screams for help, knowing nobody can hear her. But suddenly a spark of bright gold light cuts through the darkness and burns the vines to ash. For the first time, the world trembles in fear, not because of Vecna, but because he is no longer the only presence inside her head. Max turns and sees the faint outline of 11 standing in the mindscape. Not fully formed, but strong enough to interrupt the darkness. Elle's voice echoes through the void, shaking the air around them. She calls Max's name, pulling her away from the heart of the darkness. Vecna snarls, his form twisting in anger, cracking the void like glass. For a moment, Max feels hope, real hope, because she knows Elle found her. Elle reached her. But Vecna only laughs, a deep hollow sound that makes the world collapse around them. He tells 11 she's too late. He tells Max she's already his. And as the void snaps shut around them again, Max realizes the worst truth of all. Vecna doesn't just live inside her mind. He lives because of her. And he's not planning to let either of them go. Back in the real world, no one knows what is happening inside Max's mind, but they all feel something is changing. The hospital room becomes the center of strange activity. Machines beep in patterns that look almost like messages. Temperature shifts from warm to freezing in seconds. The floor vibrates with a low hum that no one can explain. Lucas stays by Max's side more than anyone else, refusing to leave even when nurses ask him to. He has memorized every tiny detail of her condition, the rise and fall of her breathing, the rhythm of the monitors, the exact way her fingers rest on the blanket. So when something changes, he notices instantly. One quiet afternoon, while the others search for clues in Hawkins, Lucas reads one of Max's old letters aloud. He reads it slowly, trying not to cry. As he speaks, the air around Max shifts, almost like it reacts to his voice. The lights above them dim, glowing soft and gold. Her eyelids tremble, not a twitch, not a random spasm, but a real, controlled movement. Lucas freezes, unsure if he imagined it. But then her hand moves. Just once, just barely, but enough to send shock through his entire body. He calls for help, but before the nurses rush in, something even stranger happens. Max's breathing quickens. The machines around her spike as if they're picking up two rhythms at once. Her own heartbeat and something echoing underneath it. Her fingers curl inward, trembling like she's fighting something inside herself. Lucas grabs her hand, begging her to wake up, begging her to stay with him. For a moment, it feels like she hears him. Her eyelids lift just a fraction. Her eyes don't focus on anything. Not fully, but there is something there: panic, fear, and awareness. It lasts only a second, but it is enough to change everything. Nurses rush in, forcing Lucas to step back. They check her pulse, her brain activity, her vitals. All of it is unstable, wild, impossible to explain. They call it a neurological surge, something they've never seen. But Lucas knows it wasn't random. Max wasn't waking up. She was escaping something. When the room clears, he notices something else. A small slip of paper sits on Max's bedside table, one he didn't put there. It's from a journal that belongs to her, a journal she kept secret from nearly everyone. And on the page, written with shaky, uneven letters, are only two words: he's here. The handwriting is broken, as if written through pain or panic, but the message is clear. Lucas's mind races, replaying everything they've seen: the lights flickering, the spikes on the monitors, the strange coldness in the air. Max wasn't just waking up, she was warning them. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Hawkins, 11 senses the surge like a punch to her chest. she feels Max's fear, sharp and sudden, tearing through the quiet space in her mind. She knows Max is fighting something she cannot see, something that is using her as a doorway. Elle tells the group immediately, and they race back to the hospital. When they arrive, the room is quiet again. Max is still. The machines have returned to normal, but the message she left sits untouched, impossible to ignore. Dustin holds it carefully, staring at the trembling handwriting. He doesn't want to believe it, but he knows the truth they all do. Max didn't write "he's here" for comfort. She wrote it because the thing that broke her bones in season 4 never let her go. It followed her. It hid inside her. It waited until the right moment to rise again. And now, because Max fought back even for a second, they know the truth, louder than ever. Vecna is alive, and Max is the proof. Lucas refuses to leave her side after that. He sits in the chair, gripping her hand, repeating her name over and over, hoping she can hear him. And sometimes, when the world outside grows cold or the lights dim without warning, he swears he feels her hands squeeze back small, weak, but real. Max is in there. She's fighting, and she's terrified. But most of all, she's not alone anymore, because now the group knows. And Vecna knows they know. And neither side is planning to wait quietly.